Blitzen-Benz means the world's fastest car. In 1909 through a few years, actually, it was the fastest car in the world. Indeed, the fastest object in the world, besides a bullet, as they advertised. So, I mean, the fastest planes in the world would go maybe 70 miles an hour, fastest trains, a little bit faster than that. So, this was as fast as a human had ever gone before, is in the Blitzen-Benz. The performance was quite incredible. We're talking 200 horsepower, so an enormous amount of power for the time when you really think about it, and very simple engine in many regards, very large engine. We're talking 21.5 liters, so 1,300 cubic inches sounds pretty big. And it was raced extensively on both the continent and here in the United States. So Brooklands, we saw the car at Brooklands, some hill climbs in Europe, but it really sort of made its mark here in the United States. We saw the car at Daytona Beach, we saw it at Daytona, we saw it on small country fairgrounds all over the United States, and even Bonneville, actually. It was one of the very first cars to ever run at Bonneville. At this particular point, Carl Benz had left the company and was not really interested in racing so much. And it's interesting how Daimler, from the very beginning with Mercedes, was interested in racing and building racing cars. But for the Benz, the sort of race on Sunday, sell on Monday concept wasn't quite clear to him. It was the people that came after him and the people that were working for him who actually were pushing to build the world's fastest cars and the most powerful cars, whether it was for Grand Prix or whether it was land speed record or hill climbs. What we represent at the Classic Center is that whether you buy a 1954 300 SL Gullwing, we're here to support you, but we're thinking more long term. We're thinking about where we're going to be in the next 125 years, and there'll be someone here to support you if you buy a new car today. If you buy a new SLS AMG Roadster, which is kind of one of the new cars that we brought, we'll be here to continue to support the customer with durable product, but also service, which is important. It's getting everything in the right position. I like how raw it is. It's not refined in terms of its engineering. If you look at the engine, it's all exposed. It's kind of dirty. It gets oil everywhere. It's probably the least politically correct engine ever made. I mean, 21.5 liters, fuel consumption something like 10 gallons a mile at full speed. So it's not exactly the most green vehicle in the world, but it was a different time, and the engineers had what was in front of them, which was a huge hurdle as air resistance and horsepower. So they had to come up with ways to do that, and they were so talented at what they did. And you look at it now, and it seems foreign to us, but it was a logical step back then. But it's a beautiful piece of machine. It's like a watch that you can see all the insides of. That's what's really cool about it.